We're looking at the GSI view, and here you can see there are listing of all the current open and closed assignments. If you're ready to grade a closed assignment, click on the link, and then, since I'm instructor, I need to choose my section. But for most of you, your sections will automatically load. Currently, there are 17 ungraded items within this section's homework. What I need to work on is outlined in red. All the other buttons that are not outlined in red are already automatically graded, and you can review those, but there's nothing to do there. So let's pick a question that needs to be graded. As I'm looking at question 3, the default view is for all of these students to have their questions lined up such that all of the question 3.A will show up at once. The questions that you need to work on will typically have a grading rubric with line items that indicate what you need to look for each particular answer. For example, in this question, this person has provided box plots, and they're also side by side, and it seems to have the appropriate titles and names. So I've clicked on all three, and you'll notice that the grades have incremented to 1.5, which is the full score for this particular question. I may choose to leave feedback. This is optional, and I can move on. Now this is a separate student, and I can also grade accordingly. And this is the default way of grading short question answers. For multi-part questions where the answers are dependent on each other, there's a separate view that allows me to look at all of the subsections of one particular question at once for a particular student. So for question 3, which has 2 sub-questions, I see that this particular student, both part A and part B are showing up together. I can move between students by using the Show Next Student arrow. You can go back and forth. The number here shows where you are in the total number of students in this particular section. And you can grade as previously. So for the ones with the rubric, you check on the check boxes, tally will show up, and you can move on. And this is how you would grade within the grading view. As I'm working, the number of ungraded questions will drop. Once this is 0, this blue bar will go away, and you will know that you have completed your grading. If it still exists, you can use the jump to the next ungraded question to help you find where there are ungraded questions. They're typically outlined in red for easy identification. You'll notice that I have clicked through the different buttons which correspond to different questions. If you'd like, you can also list all of the questions and answers in a very long list for scrolling. And you can go back and forth between these two views. You can export the complete set of answers from this section. You can also export the grades. And you can move between sections if you have access to that section. So this is how one would grade in the default section grading view available to you for closed assignments.